Today's verse is taken from 1 Corinthians 10:13. It says, "No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it." 1 Corinthians 10:13. That's one of those verses that gets taken out of context a lot. People will say, well, God's not going to put more on you than you can bear. That's not what that verse says. And the verse has to do with temptation, first of all. When you look at that verse in its context, Paul was trying to get the Corinthians to remember the Israelites and the troubles that they had when they were in the wilderness. He wanted them to remember. He said the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. He wanted them to learn from the Israelites, how even though God had blessed them and taken care of them in the wilderness, they still turned to idolatry. Remember the golden calf? And they turned to sexual immorality. You can read about that in Numbers 25, how the men of Israel got involved with the women of Moab. So Paul is trying to warn the Corinthians to be careful about temptation. He says in 1 Corinthians 10:10, let him who thinks he stand take heed lest he fall. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a place where you know you're going to be tempted, because temptations are going to come whether you like them or not. Remember, there's a difference between temptation and sin. Temptation is not the same as sin. Jesus was tempted. You can read about that in Matthew chapter 4, but he never sinned. He was sinless, tempted in all points as we are, yet without sin. That's what it says in Hebrews chapter 4. But Paul is telling us here that every temptation you experience is not anything unique to you. People all around the world, Christians all around the world, are experiencing the same kinds of temptations that you do, whether it's temptation from this evil world system we live in, temptation from this body of flesh that we live in, or temptation from the devil himself. The devil wants to trip you up. He wants you to fall, especially if you're a Christian. But, you know, the Bible tells us to resist the devil and he will flee from us. This verse is encouraging. It says God is faithful and he's not going to allow you to be tempted beyond your ability. So even though you're going to be tempted, God knows that you can handle the temptation. You don't have to sin. And he encourages us by saying with the temptation, he will also provide a way of escape that you may be able to endure it. When you think about that, technically, you never have to sin. You can escape every temptation if you will just look for that way of escape that God provides for us, and you will endure the temptation and walk in the Spirit so that you don't carry out the deeds of the flesh. That's encouraging for you and for me, because we all are going to face temptations, especially if you have decided you're going to live for Jesus, you're going to follow Jesus, you're going to deny yourself, take up your cross daily and follow him. You're going to be tempted. And it's good to know that with every temptation, God always provides a way of escape so that you can endure it. And he's not going to let you be tempted beyond your ability to withstand it. So keep that in mind. When temptation comes your way, just take those thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ. And when the devil taps you on the shoulder and when he tempts you, resist the devil and he will flee from you. This is Pastor Jay. May the Lord bless you richly this day.